2 lifelong friends, 1 local establishment. The hidden truth is out there, and we're going to talk about it. What happens in the bar no longer stays in the bar. This is Conspiracy Beerists.
And welcome to Conspiracy Beerists. Now this time out, we sit down to talk about something a little bit different than your normal conspiracy theory. We talk about Satanism in regards to the music industry and the entertainment industry. And for the very first time, we sort of have a difference in opinion when it comes to this topic. Brian is more of a believer in the Satanism aspect of everything, and I am more of a believer that, well, let's just say they do this stuff for the wow factor. But you know what? It was still a great conversation over a couple of nice cold ones, and we hope you enjoy our discussion. All right, so you wanted to talk about Satanism in music. So explain to everybody what you mean by that.
Okay, like Led Zeppelin, you go backwards on it and play it reverse or whatever. There's satanic stuff on it. But like they were saying, they recorded that in Aleister Crowley's house. For some reason, why would they do that unless it's for the energy of whatever he was, he was the most evil man in the world.
Right.
And he was very satanic, with black magic, sex magic, all that kind of shit. But I believe it's true. Yes. You don't, right?
No, but it's real. I want to know what your rationale is. You want to talk about the conspiracy of all of that.
Okay, here's another thing. The devil he was sent down here, and he had a most amazing voice up in heaven, supposedly. So he got sent down here, and then he took over music. So maybe there's things sent on us from listening to it, you know. People kill people because of Ozzy Osbourne. I don't buy that, but just crazy stuff like that, you know.
So I watched the one video.
There's a lot of videos
that you sent me about the triad musical notes.
Oh yeah, with Dave Mustaine.
Huh?
Dave Mustaine? No.
Was
it John Todd?
No, it even went back like to the 1600s and stuff.
Oh,
it was
okay.
like 3 chords in music or something, or the devils, I forget what it was called.
Did I send you that?
Yeah.
Because I also watched one with Dave Mustaine, and he was talking to someone on 2020, and he's a Christian now, supposedly. But he was playing the devil's music, supposedly, on guitar. He plays it. Did you watch the Bob Dylan one?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's crazy, isn't it?
See, to me, when I watched that, it just looked like he was like stoned or something.
I'm sure he was.
And a lot of that stuff, to me, is just
saying stuff.
Yeah, they're playing the part of a rebellious rock and roller.
Oh yeah.
Which you
but
also.
Why is he still doing it? He has to do it because he sold his soul.
Well, if he.
Thank
True.
You. And that's what happens to all of them. Once they sell their soul, they're stuck, or they end up getting killed, or or they got to do sacrifices for the devil.
Okay, so before we get into it more, do you think the phenomenon of the 27-year-old musicians dying at 27 is part of your conspiracy of?
Well, I believe that some of them were sacrificed, but Jim Morrison, right?
Janis Joplin.
And Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana. I don't
Kurt
know about
Cobain,
I don't know
Amy
about the newer
Winehouse.
guys. Right. I don't know about the newer people, but I think back then there was something to do with it because where are they from? Where did I tell you to watch? Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix's dad he was in the CIA, started his own studio and got these people to start singing, to actually to influence other people to do whatever they were doing back then. Drugs, sex. What's that? What was that concert? The huge one.
Woodstock
or
yes. Monterey Pop Festival?
Oh, sure. Both of them.
So you don't think, because you sent me the link of all of them saying they sold their soul and all this, you don't think that's just, because that's a phrase everybody uses.
Not many people
how many times have you said it just in passing in conversation? I don't think I've
ever said I sold my soul, honestly.
But you've heard people say it.
Yeah, I've heard people say it. But I think they say it maybe to get people to think, the naive people, no offense, you're not naive, but that it's just something they say, But the other people that actually know what they're doing, they're like, oh, yeah, she is one of us or something,
So when they say they sold their soul, do you think they're actually talking about the devil, or do you think maybe they're just referencing the music industry?
Probably
the people that are holding their riches in the palm of their hand.
Like I said before, that a lot of people think that the guy who did Whitney Houston produced her. What was his name again?
Tommy Mottola or something like that.
No, that's Sony. That's the one that did Michael Jackson. Mottola, I think. Tommy Mottola, right?
Yeah, that was Mariah Carey's.
Yeah, husband. Yeah. Right. Well, Michael Jackson called him the Satan. Said Tommy Mottola's Satan. And 2 weeks later, he ends up dead. Maybe 2 months later, I don't know, something like that. Because he was trying to get out of that company. But if they try and get out of these companies, like their music is with the company, you know what I mean? So they want their music back, but the Sony would not give Michael Jackson's music, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they are worth more dead than they are alive to the music company.
Yeah, I actually just heard something about that. And I want to say it was Elvis's estate has now made more money since he's been dead than he made in his career.
Right, like Prince, too, you know what I mean? Jennifer
Love Hewitt?
Huh?
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah. Jennifer
Hudson?
Yep, Jennifer Hudson. Her mother was murdered, and her nephew or something in the house that she bought him or whatever. Well, after that, boom, she bumped up real fast. I mean, she's not there no more. But for some reason, she bumped up. So people were saying it's a sacrifice. That's what they get, And a lot of people, especially that are in the not Illuminati, but like secret societies, they have certain things they got to do to move up in these things, and sacrifice is like an amazing one, a crazy one.
So do you think it's actual religious satanic worship, or do you think they're referring to Satan or the devil maybe do it, or sold my soul to...
Yeah, I think it's Satan for sure. But I think they were told by the leaders of that like Tommy Mottola, I'm sure he gives them info on what to do, or you've seen the one with the newer girls. What's her face? God, I hate doing that. I hate what's her face. What's the one that kissed a girl?
Katy Perry.
Yes, her. She's like, I wanted to be Amy Grant.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Did you hear Rihanna on another one? I'm a Satan worshiper. What you talking about?
Yeah, but I also think those people do that stuff to cause wave for shock value.
Oh, might be, but so these people are doing this to get the other people to do this, right? To get like the people that listen to their music, right? Influence them to do this kind of stuff. Do you think that's what it is? Like Katy Perry.
I think they do a lot of.
She doesn't really sing anything satanic. Well, that one horse song, Crazy Horse or whatever she sang, that was pretty satanic because she did like at the Grammy Awards, or MTV Awards, or Grammys. I think that's acting, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's
no, Grammys is music.
Is it music? Well, they
Academy.
do rituals up on stage and shit. The people don't really. They're like, holy, that's crazy. Some of them get it, and so they're like, that was totally satanic ritual. Nicki Minaj, she did one at the Whitney Houston when she died, and they levitated her up, and she was supposedly laying. Okay, there was a second floor on her when she was doing her concert deal at the Grammys or whatever, and the second floor is where Whitney was found or where she died, but then Nicki Minaj got levitated up to the second floor in her thing, in her concert, and she sat like Whitney Houston did as she died. I'll have to show it to you, but...
Do you think it's all just showmanship, though?
I don't know, man. It's
I mean,
nuts.
the sincerest form of flattery is to...
I don't think... I think they wanted her dead. And I think it was a sacrifice. What is that guy's name? He was like a main dude, bald. He's gay now.
Clive
Davis.
Yeah.
But there's things you got to do, just like the Harvey Weinstein stuff. You're gonna do this stuff to get this movie deal, right? But you're gonna get this stuff. You're gonna be a #1 hit record.
See, that's kind of my whole point to my counterpoint to all of this is take Harvey Weinstein for example. I mean, those women had to let him be a creep
Yeah.
in order to get roles and all that. So what it would be the same thing with musicians.
Right. Could be. It could be. Very well could be.
So I don't think there's anything religiously satanic.
But they will not let anybody know what's going on. It's all secret. A cult means in hiding. So...
Well, you had mentioned cult, so, and then you had me watch a video with, what was his name now? I have it right here, but I can't. John Todd. Now, that's, when I watched that video that you sent me with John Todd.
And that was back in the 70s when he said all that stuff.
Right.
Go ahead. This is where I get ripped on.
No, you're not going to get ripped on at all. I just disagree with you. Then that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But he was like your cult leaders that were big, your David Koresh's, your Jim Joneses, just trying to draw people into his group. And then I told you off air that I thought he was full of crap because A, he was a nutbag and got kicked out of the army beforehand and then got arrested for rape in the 80s.
And then I told you.
You said he got framed.
He was framed.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I don't know for sure, but just the shit he said about taking the main copy, what is it, the main pilot CD or record or whatever, taking it up, getting witches and warlocks, taking it up in the witching hour on a full moon, and they pray over it, supposedly. And then once it does the copies, it sends all the curses through, and when you listen to it, you get cursed. But I don't buy that, because I'm not cursed, and I listen to that shit.
the song from the 70s he was talking about.
Which one was
About
that?
Coven.
Okay.
And 110 Soldiers, the name of the song.
Oh, yeah?
And he made reference to they were called two different things. They were called two different things because Coven was the band that originally recorded the song, and then they used it in the movie, and the people in the movie sang the song.
Oh, okay.
That was the one that was the hit, not the Coven one.
Okay.
So he's twisting facts to make
Oh,
it
I
sound
see.
satanic. It's like, see, the 110 Soldiers done by a coven. They called themselves a coven, and they were witches and warlocks. And it's like,
So it was actually like that plant movie.
yeah.
Feed me! Yeah.
Yeah, the Little Shop of Horrors. So in that aspect, that's when I watch it, I'm like, he's completely wrong. And that's what people like Jim Jones and David Koresh, and they use people's vulnerabilities to sucker them into their cults.
Well, see, another thing, you're going
Or
to...
Marshall Applewhite, if you want to
If
hop
you
on
look
an
up
airplane.
that David Koresh stuff, that shit's crazy.
One of these times, we're going to sit down and talk about all those. Yeah.
Supposedly, some of those fighters or FBI agents were Bill Clinton's right-hand security guards or something. And then they show they're climbing up the roof. Two guys go in, and one guy's standing by the window. He throws a fucking hand grenade in there, blows them up, and all of a sudden fucking bullets start shooting out the window like they're shooting back at him. Something to where people wanted her out of I don't know if the White House or the government even. And she's like, she told Bill Clinton, like, I will talk about Waco if you kick me out of this deal. So he never did. He kept her in because there was something to do with that whole deal at Waco. At Waco, they killed like a ton of kids. I don't know how many. But they sometimes use that shit as a ritual. Even 9/11, they used as a ritual, partially.
You believe that the devil worship.
I believe the devil is all around us. And he... Yeah.
Especially in music in
Especially
in,
music.
in Hollywood.
Yes. Los Angeles. Los Angels. He was an angel.
Well, technically, I guess he still would be. He was just cast
Right.
out.
Cast down like lightning. So every time you see, like, Lady Gaga will have lightning on her face sometimes. That's that. She's in it. If you make it huge like that, I think you have something to do with it. Either the Kabbalah, because some of them wear that red little bracelet. Madonna does. But then she came on Super Bowl a long time ago, right? You ever heard of Baphomet?
Yeah.
She came in as Baphomet into the Super Bowl. And she did all this stuff and fucking dancing on a chair. Like she would do that crazy shit. Whatever. And that she's huge into it, obviously, too. But the bigger you get, the more influence you're going to have, the more Satanism they're going to work.
So you don't think it's just an act or a show?
Maybe some of it. But no, I don't think all of it is. Some of it. Like he said, Motley Crue. Fuck, dude. I don't know if they use the pentagram.
Let's talk about the metal aspect of it. In
Right.
the 80s and 70s and 90s, you had the whole thing with Ozzy was satanic
Yep.
and Motley Crue and
The
all
pentagram.
Do you
But see,
think
they never talked about Satan. Not Ozzy, but Motley Crue really didn't. You got the looks that kill, or in the beginning they did some things, but not really. Like you said, I think it was more a ploy for them to get people to fucking the bad kids to get bad, stuff like that.
That's one thing I thought of when you mentioned wanting to talk about this was the whole spiel with Ozzy back then had that song called Suicide Solution and
someone killed themselves, right?
And okay, so before we move on, I do have a question from a listener.
Okay. Who is this listener?
His name is Rourke.
Okay.
And he wants to know what changed your mind, why you decided you didn't want to do the Clinton kill list episode.
Oh, I do eventually want to do it. It is a dangerous subject.
Talk to Rourke, don't talk to me.
Rourke? I think that the Clinton kill list is obviously real, even though they don't get in trouble for any of it. It's gone back way too far, and it keeps coming. Epstein, I mean, that might not even have been them. They could have been someone else, but the Prince Andrew, who knows? But they are the crookedest couple in the world, and they've made it to where they're at by doing all that shit. And people know it. It's real shit, and they want it to come out for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, how popular is Christian rock? It's not. Stryper was the last band.
Stryper.
It was the last real band. I mean, there are some Christian singers, but eventually they all joined the pack.
That's actually not true because it's pretty big right now. It's just bands like Righteous Vendetta and stuff are pretty big, but they've kind of branched away from their Christian rock sound to be more mainstream.
Right. I mean, there's probably all types of music, but the satanic shit sells. And maybe you're right about the ploys. It's all the ploy people say.
Yeah,
it's
because
gonna be better.
controversy sells. I mean, Eminem said that.
He sold his soul to the devil. He says that in one of his raps. I sold my soul to the devil and I'll never get it back.
Why did he say it?
Because he sold his soul
shock
to the
value.
devil. But then he can't fucking do anything, you know? He can't fucking go out. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's how people, I mean, they choose to do that.
The producers choose for them to what they have to do to get in, to keep their shit going.
So what in the hell did Milli Vanilli do then? It's like, look, we don't want
I think
you
that was fucking planned.
we don't want you guys to sing. We just want you to be eye candy.
Right.
And then they throw them under the bus.
That was fucking weird.
And
then they did
baby.
Blame it on the rain.
And that's going to wrap up this episode of Conspiracy Beerists. If you have any thoughts about Satanism in music or the entertainment industry and would like to share them with us, feel free to comment on our Facebook page, Conspiracy Beerists. Don't forget to subscribe to your favorite podcast server and get each and every episode as soon as we publicize them. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember, the truth is out there. You just have to know where to look.
WLLP, Spock Rock Radio.